I am Reed. I am 27, just an average dude. I've made tons of money mistakes in my 20s, and now I want to share everything I've learned to help you take control of your finances and your life. All right, let me start with something real. Summer break is literally less than a month away for a lot of you. Think about that for a second. In a few weeks, school doors lock alarms go off and you get handed basically the most valuable thing you can have at your age, completely free, unstructured time. But I need you to be brutally honest with yourself right now. How many times have you sat in class in May, hyping yourself up, telling your friends, bro, this is going to be the best summer ever. I am going to get shredded. I am going to start a business. I am going to learn guitar, I am going to make money, I am going to do all this crazy stuff, and then September 1st rolls around and you are packing your backpack for the first day of school and it hits you like a truck. You look back at the last 3 months and you realize you did absolutely nothing. I am talking waking up at 2 p.m. every single day, scrolling TikTok until your eyes literally burn, playing video games until the sun comes up, eating garbage, feeling gross. And now you have to walk back into that classroom looking the exact same, acting the exact same with absolutely nothing to show for your time off. That feeling hits different. It is honestly one of the worst feelings in the world because you can get that time back. And I know that feeling better than most people because I lived it, not once, not twice. I wasted multiple summers in my early 20s doing the exact same cycle. I would swear up and down that this time was going to be different, and then boom, same result. And I am telling you right now, I don't want you to make that same mistake again this year. Let me tell you about my own story real quick. When I was like 20 or 21, I was in a bad spot financially and mentally. I had no direction, no plan, and honestly no clue what I was doing with my life. I was working some random job, barely making ends meet, and every summer that came around, I told myself, this is my moment, I am going to get my money right, I am going to learn something useful, I am going to turn my life around. But then the summer would hit and I do the exact opposite. I sleep in, I avoid any kind of discomfort. I tell myself, I'll start next week turned into next month turned into the whole summer being gone, and then September would come and I'd be right back where I started, broke out of shape, feeling like I wasted another chunk of my youth. And the worst part was I knew I was doing it, I knew I was wasting time, but I could seem to stop. The comfort of doing nothing was just too strong. So when I talk about summer regret, I am not guessing. I lived it. And I don't want you to feel that same heaviness when school starts again. The truth is most people view summer completely backwards. They look at 3 months of free time and think, oh man, I have so much time I can just chill. I'll start working out next week. I'll start that project in July. I'll figure it out later. They stretch their laziness out to fill the time, and that is exactly where the trap gets you. Because here's the thing, I learned the hard way. Time doesn't stretch, it shrinks. The more you push things off, the faster the weeks fly by. You blink and July is gone, then August is gone, and you are standing there with empty hands wondering where the time went. I've been there so many times and it never gets easier, so let me reframe this for you. Instead of viewing summer as a 3-month vacation where you just relax and do nothing, view it as your ultimate incubation period. This is the peak opportunity of your entire year. And I know that sounds intense, but hear me out. During the school year, what is the #1 excuse people have for not starting something? I don't have time. You hear it constantly. Bro, I have school for 8 hours and then I have practice and I have homework. And by the time I am done, I am just too tired. And honestly, during the school year, that is a real struggle. Time is the most limited resource you have as a student. You are stretched thin across classes, extracurriculars, social stuff, and family obligations. There is barely any room left for you to build something new. I remember being in that exact spot feeling like I had zero bandwidth to work on myself. But during summer, that excuse is completely dead. Unless you are working a full-time job, which some of you might be, you suddenly have up to 16 hours of waking free time every single day. That is insane when you actually think about it. That is more free time than most adults get in an entire week. And if you've ever had that quiet thought in the back of your head saying, man, I really wish I could start a clothing brand, or I want to learn video editing, or I want to start a YouTube channel, or I want to learn how to invest, you have zero excuses not to do it right now. Summer is the time to take those risks because the penalty of failure is practically zero. You don't have to balance it with a history essay or a math test. You can lock yourself in your room for 6 hours a day, obsess over a new skill, fail 100 times, and figure it out. That is the beauty of summer. Failure does cost you anything, except a little time, and time is exactly what you have. And look, I get it. Not everyone wants to start a business or become an entrepreneur. That is fine. I am not saying you need to turn into some hustle bro who wakes up at 4 a.m. and chugs raw eggs, but you should be using this time to build something in your life, whether it is a skill, a habit, or just a better version of yourself. For me personally, I spent 1 summer just learning how to manage my money. I didn't start some huge business. I just sat down with a spreadsheet and figured out my budget. I learned about emergency funds. I learned about compound interest. I learned why I kept ending up broke every month. That 1 summer of learning changed my entire financial life, and I didn't need a coach or a course or a mentor. I just needed YouTube and a few books and the willingness to sit down and do the work. That is it. And you can do the same thing. Pick one thing, just one, and spend the summer getting good at it. You'll be shocked at how far you can get in 3 months when you are consistent. Now let's talk about the gym. I hear guys all the time saying, oh, I don't really feel like hitting the gym during the summer. It is too hot. I just want to relax. What are you even saying? Summer is literally the best time to lock in physically. You aren't sitting at a desk all day destroying your posture. You have the time to actually cook good meals instead of buying processed garbage from the store. You can get your sleep schedule dialed in, you can go outside and move your body in ways that feel good. I am not saying you need to become a bodybuilder, but if you put in those extra reps now while everyone else is lazy and sitting on the couch eating ice cream, think about what happens when school starts. You walk back through those doors in September and you are literally a different person. You are ahead of everyone who decided to take 3 months off from improving themselves. I did this myself one summer. I was lifting heavy. I was training for anything. I just started going for walks every morning and doing a few simple body weight exercises. Nothing crazy. By the time fall came around, I had more energy, better posture, and I felt way more confident walking into a room. And all it took was 30 minutes a day. That is it. But listen. When I say grind and work hard, I am not telling you to lock yourself in a dark room for 3 months straight. That is the other extreme, and it is just as toxic. I know because Ivy done that too. Ivy had summers where I went so hard on trying to be productive that I burned out by week 2 and then did nothing for the rest of the break. It is not sustainable. A massive part of not wasting your summer is actually remembering to live. Where I live, it is freezing cold, dark, and miserable for like 80% of the year. So when summer finally hits and the sun actually comes out, it is almost a crime to stay indoors. If you spend your entire summer rotting in your bedroom, breathing recycled air and staring at a monitor, you are going to get that specific gross, dusty feeling. You know exactly what I am talking about. Your brain feels foggy, your body feels heavy, you feel stuck and miserable for no real reason. I've had days like that where I realize I haven't left my room in 3 days and I don't even remember what the sun looks like. It is a terrible feeling and I don't want you to experience it. The immediate cure for that is to just go outside. I cannot stress this enough. Go outside, embrace nature. It sounds basic, but it is scientifically true. Go to the forest, go take a walk, grab your friends and go to the beach. Jump in a lake if you live in the middle of a concrete city, get on a bus or a train and go out of town for a weekend. Seriously. Disconnecting from the internet and physically placing yourself in nature for even just a few hours completely resets your brain. It lowers your stress, it kills your brain fog, it makes you feel like an actual human being again instead of a screen zombie. And I know this from personal experience. One summer, I was feeling completely stuck. I was stressed about money, I was stressed about my future, I was stuck in my head all day. Then a friend dragged me to a hiking trail near where we lived. I didn't want to go, but I went anyway. And after like 2 hours of walking in the woods with no phone, no music, just my thoughts, I felt like a different person. My head was clear, I felt lighter. I actually had ideas again. That one walk changed how I approach my mental health. Now I try to get outside every single day, even if it is just for 20 minutes. Summer is supposed to be a break. You are supposed to enjoy yourself. The goal is balance, and I know balance is a cliche word, but it is true. Spend your mornings grinding on that business or hitting the gym or learning that skill, and spend your afternoons actually outside in the sun experiencing your youth. You don't have to choose one or the other. You can do both. That is what I've learned over the years. You can work hard and still have fun. You can build something and still make memories. In fact, the memories mean more when you know you earned them. But here's the real reason why so many people accidentally waste their summer, even if they had good intentions in May. It comes down to structure. For 9 months out of the year, your entire life is completely scheduled by other people. You are told exactly when to wake up, when to eat, when to sit, and when you can go home. You have this rigid framework holding your day together. But the second summer break hits, that framework completely vanishes. You suddenly have a massive empty void of 24 hours. And if you don't actively build your own routine to fill that void, I guarantee you the void will fill itself with garbage. I've seen it happen to myself and to so many people around me. You will start waking up at 11 a.m., then it drifts to 1 p.m., then 2 p.m., and your days will just blur together. You won't even know what day of the week it is anymore because you have absolutely no anchor points in your life. I remember one summer where I literally lost track of time so badly that I thought it was Wednesday when it was actually Saturday. That is how disconnected I was. And those are the summers you don't remember. They just disappear into a fog if you want to actually win this summer. You have to become your own boss. I am not saying that you need to wake up at 5 a.m. and take ice baths unless you want to, but you need some kind of daily structure. Set a reasonable alarm. Have one specific goal you need to accomplish before noon, whether that is hitting the gym, reading, studying, or working on that business idea. Once you knock out that one hard task, the rest of the day is yours to actually enjoy without any guilt. That one change alone made a massive difference in my life. When I started setting one non-negotiable task each morning, suddenly my days had purpose. I wasn't drifting anymore. I was steering, and it didn't even take that much effort. Just 1 hour of focused work in the morning gave me the rest of the day free with a clear conscience. And while you are enjoying that free time, you need to avoid the biggest modern trap of them all, becoming a spectator. During the summer, everybody posts their highlight reels. You open up Instagram or TikTok and you see people going on crazy trips, getting shredded, buying their first cars, or just genuinely having the time of their lives. And what are you doing? You are laying in your bed in the dark watching them do it. You are spending hours every single day watching other people play the game of life while you sit in the stands. I've been that guy. I know exactly what it feels like. It feels pathetic. It feels like you are wasting your potential. And the worst part is the more you watch, the more you feel like you are falling behind. It is a vicious cycle. So here's what I started doing whenever I catch myself mindlessly scrolling through someone else. As summer, I use that as an immediate trigger to put the phone down and go work on my own life. I don't even judge myself for it anymore. I just use it as a reminder. Oh, right, I should be living my own life, not watching someone else live theirs. That small mental shift changed everything. Stop watching other people live and start building a summer that is actually worth documenting yourself. And I know that sounds simple, but it is true. The people you are watching on social media, they re not special. They re just people who decided to take action. And you can do the same thing. You have the same 24 hours. You have the same potential. The only difference is they started and you haven't yet. To give you an idea of what taking action actually looks like, let me tell you my exact plan for this summer. I am not staying where I am. I am traveling across the globe to the USA. I've never been to the States in my entire life. It is a completely new experience, a massive risk, and a huge step out of my comfort zone. But I am doing it to meet up with my best friend. He lives all the way across the world, and normally doing something like this would feel impossible. But I refuse to let another year go by just talking to him through a headset. So I put in the hard work. I saved up the money, I bought the ticket, and I am flying out there to spend the summer with him. The whole point of this trip isn't to act like a tourist. It is because he and I share the exact same mindset. We have the exact same goals, the exact same ambition, and the exact same drive. And there is real power in taking two people who want to win, taking them out of an online Discord call, and putting them in the same room in real life. That is how you multiply your success. We're going to grind, build our stuff, and push each other in a way you just can do through a screen. Ivy learned that your environment and the people around you matter way more than most people realize. If you are surrounded by people who are lazy and unmotivated, you are going to be lazy and unmotivated. But if you put yourself around people who are driven and ambitious, you will naturally level up. So find those people or be the person who sets the standard. And that leads me to a crucial point about how you spend your free time. Spend time with your friends. But most importantly, spend time with your real friends. During the school year, you are forced to interact with hundreds of people you don't truly care about. But summer is the filter. It shows you who your actual circle is. If your boys text you and say, yo, let us go to the beach, or yo, we going to play basketball, or even let us go for a walk, get off your phone, put the shoes on and go. Stop being the guy who says no to everything because you are too lazy to leave the house. I used to be that guy. I would make up excuses. I am tired. It is too hot.